There is no place in America quite like San Francisco. A town blessed with natural beauty, distinctive architecture, progressive politics, and old world charm. In many ways, San Francisco could not be more different than its rival city in Southern California. Los Angeles is a sun-kissed world of unabashed hedonism, sandy beaches, and the glitz and glamour of the entertainment industry. The greatest stories and epics have emerged from Hollywood's dream factories, but few films can compete with the real-life drama of the 49ers-Rams rivalry, a series that has always meant big box office.
The all-time record, as a matter of fact, is the Rams versus the 49ers in the Coliseum with 102,380, something like that. Huge, huge crowd. That was before they shortened the field in the Coliseum.
The field must have seemed extremely short to the 49ers in the early 50s, as the explosive Rams attack piled up the points against their Golden State rivals.
When the 49ers came into the league from the All-American Conference, they still didn't have enough good football players to compete in the National Football League. And the Rams at that time were a great football team. We had football players coming out of our ears. So we naturally beat them pretty good, although the rivalry was really great.
Despite such stars as Joe Perry, Hugh McElhenney, and Y.A. Tittle, the 49ers usually came out a disappointing second best.
Even today, after all these years, I can't stand horns. I hate horns. I think it's because of the fact of those horns helmets those Rams had. We just despised each other, and it was a great rivalry. Your whole season was made, if out of the 3 games, the 1 exhibition game and the 2 league games, if you would win 2 out of 3, your season was complete. And they felt the same way about us.
The alley-oop pass was really developed around the Rams game. We discovered, if you will, Y.A. Tittle and myself in our first year, and we went on to beat the Rams that day with a couple of alley-oop passes, and of course today they call it Hail Mary. In those days we didn't pray.
Perhaps both teams should have prayed for some defensive help. By the late 50s, neither franchise was capable of stopping the other.
When we were beat, we were always beat 42-38. It was a big score. We scored a lot of points and scored on big plays. I mean, 70 and 80-yard plays. If you go back and look to the records, very exciting team to watch.
It was to everybody's, I guess, demise that we never did put the attention on the importance of defense the way it had to be played. Every team always has a personality. In San Francisco, ours was offensive.
In the air, it's touchdown 49ers. Let them come out, we don't care. It's touchdown 49ers.
Despite their firepower, both clubs struggled to win during the early 60s. But that finally changed when the Rams built a defense that scared the 49ers to death.
Touchdown 49ers.
I said what I believed, and I tried to execute everything that I said. If I was going to get John Brody, who was the quarterback then, I got them.
LA's fearsome foursome made the Rams champions of the West, while ushering in a long period of 49er frustration.
We could never beat the Rams. In the 4 years we won the NFC West, I think we beat the Rams. We played them 8 times in regular season. I think we beat them once. One year they played us. Roman Gabriel gets knocked out of the ball game early. Jerry Rome comes in to play quarterback. The Rams end up with negative yardage passing. Negative. And they beat us. The ball would just not bounce our way.
We had a real hex on the 49ers, and they went through a period of 5-6 years where they won 1 game and tied 1 out of all those ball games we were playing. And they were sure that we had some inside information. And so their reporters would ask me, I'd say, we've got some tips on them that are just devastating. Well, that just ate them up. And we didn't have anything. We didn't have a darn thing on them, but they believed that we did.
We
We had a great defensive team. We had guys like Jack Youngblood who were really at the prime in their careers. We had great defensive backs and such. And the 49ers were just kind of getting into it. They went through a succession of coaches. They didn't really have dominant players at that point. The years that I played, really, we were just a much better football team.
Over one stretch, Los Angeles won 23 of 27 ball games against the Niners. But in 1981, a new coach in San Francisco ended the long reign of the Rams. The 49ers began the greatest era in their history. Under Bill Walsh, they avenged years of defeat at the hands of Los Angeles, while dominating the NFC West and all of football.
He's going to throw long. And for Rice is there. He's got a touchdown, 49ers.
I didn't know much about boxing. It was one of Bill's old stories about it, is that, the guy might look like an even fight, but someone's getting beat by the punch by this much all the time. And that much through 15 rounds, if he makes it to 15 rounds, usually wears the other opponent out. And that's what we did.
But it's a draw up the middle to Craig, and he breaks loose and runs loose. He gets used to the 30, to the 25. He's down to the 20. Breaks loose again. He's to the 10. 5. Touchdown 49ers. Oh, what a bonanza. Spectacular run by Roger Craig.
The Niners won a pair of Super Bowl trophies in the early 80s, a development that did not sit well with their foes from Los Angeles.
They enjoy beating us anyway. But you make us the world's champions, and we might as well walk around with bullseyes on our chests.
The Rams dethroned the champion 49ers and won their only division title of the 80s during a moonlit Monday night in Candlestick Park. A strange second-half score settled the issue.
As I'm running down the field and trying to concentrate on the ball, out the corner of my eye, I can see Ronnie Lott coming across the field, and I was like, okay, it's going to be a collision somewhere. And sure enough, him and Dwight Hicks collided with one another. The ball hit the back of Dwight Hicks' leg, and I was able to reach out and grab the ball, and that was one of the highlights of my career.
The 49ers turned the passing game to their advantage 4 years later, when a pair of 90-plus yard touchdowns by John Taylor erased a 17-point Los Angeles advantage.
When we get ready to play the 49ers, you take off the veneer, you take off all of the pretense, and either you're going to give your very best in hopes of having a chance to beat these guys, or you're going to go out and go through the motions and realize that you're going to get thrashed.
The Niners dispelled some myths and put on one of their most masterful displays in recent history when they jumped to an early lead in the 1989 NFC Championship game.
Come on, man, we need 7 right now. Right the hell now.
They thought they were the tougher team, that they believed all of the stuff that was written about the 49ers being a finesse team.
San Francisco crushed the Rams, physically and emotionally, en route to their 4th Super Bowl triumph of the 1980s.
Step back. Now he goes down without even being touched. Boy, is he hearing footsteps, Wayne. Haley and Roberts were there, but they never touched him. He just ate the ground.
Maybe it takes those type of events, the cold slap in the face, and it happened. It was brutal. We had to live all year with that feeling, the 49er game, and it was one that made us all very, very sick.
But the Rams felt a lot better the following year when they knocked off the previously unbeaten world champs.
Give it to Buford McGee. He runs an angle on the right, pitches it over to the trailing back, and that is Cleveland Gary and into the end zone on the right side.
I dislike San Francisco. We all do. We try to take every game, one at a time. But San Francisco seems to be, for the Rams, just a little bit different game.